For 2,000 years, a story has been told and retold down through the generations. A strange story involving ancient prophecies, angelic messages, a birth in unexpected quarters, and some mysterious men who came from far away in the east, who found the newborn child by following a very oddly behaving star. In the book of Matthew, chapter 2, it says, "After Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea during the time of King Herod, Magi from the east came to Jerusalem and asked, 'Where is the one who has been born King of the Jews? We saw his star when it rose and have come to worship him.'" As we read on, it says, "Then Herod called the Magi secretly and found out from them the exact time the star had appeared. He sent them to Bethlehem and said, 'Go and search carefully for the child. As soon as you find him, report to me, so that I too may go and worship him.' After they had heard the king, they went on their way, and the star they had seen when it rose went ahead of them until it stopped over a place where the child was. When they saw the star, they were overjoyed. On coming to the house, they saw the child was with his mother Mary, and they bowed down and worshipped him. Then they opened their treasures and presented him with gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to go back to Herod, they returned to their country by another route." Later in Matthew chapter 2, it says, "When Herod realized that he had been outwitted by the Magi, he was furious, and he gave orders to kill all the boys in Bethlehem and its vicinity who were 2 years old and under, in accordance with the time he had learned from the Magi." So from this we can stop and extrapolate that from the time the Magi first saw the star, to the time right after they found Jesus, and then everyone escaped Herod, we are talking about some kind of stellar phenomenon which took place over the course of roughly 2 years. It somehow remained fixed over Jerusalem for enough months that the Magi were able to load up for the long journey to Jerusalem, and then travel all the way to Jerusalem, after which it seems to have reappeared over Bethlehem, directly south, towards which the Magi continued to follow this particular star until it led to an exact address. To me, this story just does not make any sense at all when attempting to be explained by Copernican astronomy. But it actually makes a lot of sense if given a second look through a biblical and cosmology. If the stars are much more intimately connected to the spiritual realities of the created order, the luminaries, if you will, well, then suddenly this rather odd story from 2,000 years ago suddenly doesn't seem nearly as problematic or difficult to explain. Suddenly we can begin to realize that the way in which we've so often seen this nativity story depicted, where the star over the manger scene is represented as an angel, is really the only interpretation that has ever made any real sense. But even more amazing than pondering the Star of Bethlehem, where the heavenlies are possibly so much nearer than we ever first imagined, is pondering the purpose of this story overall. The message, which a moving, seemingly sentient star was assigned to point towards and announce. The birth of this person, this king, whom armies of angels celebrated with song in shepherds' fields. This story is more than just a story. It is true. It is a part of history and really happened. And just like the star pointed these men from the east to the true king, the Creator himself is still using his great handiwork, the heavens and the earth, to point people back to him, back to his Son, back to the truth. He knows you. He's calling you by name. He has been with you every day of your life. He knows every moment, every heartache, every joy, every pain. He has been leading you through all of it, towards the point where you might finally recognize that the thing which your soul has been longing for, through it all, has been Him. Will you follow the starlight? Will you dare to wonder? Will you listen to the signs? Will you hear Him calling you? will you worship the King? The God of everything, the creator of all that has ever been and ever will be, loves you more than you can possibly comprehend. There is no greater truth in the world to discover, and I pray that if you have somehow come to watch this, that you will discover it too.